Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, FabuLights. I got a question for you. What opens with blood on the wall and a crime scene? This is April's house where she's been killed. Detective Fox is there hostilely interrogating our girl, and our girl says Detective Fox asked her something about her Rebel's brother's lawful killing, and Rebel says it's about as lawful as Wounded Knee is to your people. You probably saw it on the preview or the the little ads they have for it. And then what closes with TJ, who has broken up with Tasha. TJ Rebel's husband broke up with his girlfriend Tasha. All right, if you guessed Rebel season 1 episode 3, I think it is, I'll have to double check, then you're correct. This is Angela. The channel is Be Fabulous You. If you want to stick around for my review of Rebel, please do. Please like, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you get my videos as soon as they come out, or you get notification that my videos have come out. Make comments. Did you enjoy it? So this is going to be very stream of consciousness, but I guess just overall, there was not like a lot of police work that happened during this episode. We know that she has left the police department. Miss Rebel, our main character, our girl, has left the police department, and I thought she was going to be working as a private investigator, but unlike like my boy, dang, what's his name in the books? Easy Rawlins, when he be getting his private investigating jobs, he be getting paid. The job she did this week, she didn't get paid. Did she get paid last week? So she must have quite a cushion of money coming in. Maybe she has money coming in as a person from the military. You know, maybe she's getting some check or some cushion, because she has moved since the series since the series has started. She's moved from her home to another home, and she stopped working the job that she was working. So we're seeing no signs of financial strain, and I don't know if that's just because she's a superwoman. She ain't got to have no signs of financial strain. But she was working a private investigation case today, or this week, last night on last night's episode, having to do with her girl who had been with her in the military. Her girl Kim was with her in the military and was responsible for introducing her to her husband TJ. She probably would have met him anyway, but she was actually the person who introduced her. So Kim comes up missing, and that's kind of the case, kind of trying to find out where Kim is. Then once they find Kim, you know, what's up with Kim, what's really going on, and there's a little case that she solves there. We don't really see much about her brother. We do get to see a video of her brother and her ex-partner Mac just hanging out, rapping, you know, looking like they're the best of friends, having the best of time. So it continues to kind of get this, keep this narrative, or keep us kind of confused about whether we hate Mac or love Mac, whether Mac is a good guy or a bad guy. We don't see Officer Charlie at all this episode. Giancarlo. What else happens? Oh, so the other main thing that happens is that Rebel is working a lot with her husband TJ. Her girl Chi ends up asking her, you know, at some point, if he were to leave the woman that he's with, Tasha, or whatever her name is, I think it was Tasha, I think it's her name. If he were to leave Tasha, would you get back with TJ? And Rebel is like, but it makes us think, and so at the end of the episode, TJ has left Tasha. And, you know, all during the episode, they're kind of talking about moving in together, but it seemed like there was some stuff getting in the way of them moving in together. Then finally at the end, he like, you know, we're not going to move in together. I don't want to move in with you. Dang, it's so dark. I don't know. Yeah. So those are kind of the highlights that I can think of. We didn't really see much from Dad this episode that I can think of. And I'm going to go through my notes. And now my notes are stream of consciousness. So you might have got the main points in this 4 minutes and 40 seconds that we've spent together so far, not even including the intro. So that's my overview. So I'm going to go through my notes, which I took during the show. So again, we're at April Summerdale's house. The cops are investigating April's death. Officer Fox is there. She's treating Rebel like, you killed her. And Rebel's like, look, I knocked on the door. Tried to knock on the door came open. The woman was dead, and I called the cops like any good citizen would do. And Officer Fox is very suspicious and is convinced, it seems, from her behavior, that Rebel killed April because April had something to do with Rebel's brother's death. Although we know that April is the one that fired no shots. So of all the people that Rebel could be mad at, April would be, rather low down on that list, I would think. What else? TJ, I don't know if TJ is Mr. Jenkins. And I'm confused because I thought it was a scene where he was getting work done on his house and he was kind of like making a plan. But then his girlfriend is making a plan to look at real estate. He's not able to go because it turns out that someone named April is missing, or Kim is missing. Kim? Yeah, Kim is missing. Who is April? Lord, Kim is missing. Oh, April is the white cop who got killed the last episode, but Kim is missing, and that's his girl. So that's an emergency. That's family. He has to deal with that. And his woman is like, well, what am I supposed to tell the realtor? And it's like, well, tell her that an emergency came up and that's why he couldn't come. But I was kind of confused, like, well, why is he, maybe he's just going to have work done on his house and rent it out and they'll live together. But that kind of confused me because I'm like, well, if he's having work done on his house, that seems like you're investing in something. Hey, my neighbor. So Kim is missing. We see Chi with Rebel. She's kind of with her throughout the episode. Detective Mac has a new black woman partner. So that's, news, or, unlike Shots Fired, the department that they're investigating, I guess they got plenty of black women in this department. We see a homeless camp court when they're in the process of looking for Kim. They go to this homeless camp to see if she's there, and there's like court is in session and somebody is making decisions. It turns out he's a former judge that might have had a drug issue, or I can't even remember, but now he's, kind of living in the homeless camp, or, he's kind of on the edge. His life has fallen apart in some ways, but he still continues to adjudicate cases. We see we're at Chi's family restaurant. I think that because Chi checks TJ and kind of, gets in his, gets on him about, look, don't be hurting my girl. Don't be, playing around with her emotions. If you what's up with y'all, what's going on? But we're at Chi's restaurant, her family restaurant, and her mother is not happy. Her mother is not impressed with her. Her mother is complaining. Like, I work 2 jobs to support my family or help my family. Chi is like, I have a job. Her mother's like, you don't come to the restaurant, you don't help out. You're like a lazy American. TJ's card is declined. Chi is behind the counter. He's paying for the food. His card is declined. He says he canceled it. But what's really going on? And then at the restaurant, there's a baby crying, and we see Kim kind of freaking out. Shut the baby up. Shut the baby up. Shut the baby up. And we're like, what's up with her? But, a lot of times the portrayal that we get of people who have gone to the military is that, they can be a little kooky. So I just took it as, that's some of her kookiness. But, it was some of her military-related kookiness. Oh, look at the little puffy dog. I only hear that little dog barking. I've never seen it. It's so little. Bella is little, but that thing is like 5-6 pounds because it's all hair. Okay, so look, Bella is whining and carrying on. It's so cute. So Mac and his new black partner are in some restaurant kitchen. They're asking a guy questions. The guy is kind of like, and then the black partner is like, well, how about this? Who is that woman over there? We'll protect her if you give us information. And she's like an older black woman. I'm giving her more attitude than she probably has. But it's like she's sharp. She's picked up on something going on, and it ends up being a key point. Mac offers to take her out for drinks. She's like, no, I gotta go to my second job. He like, you don't seem like a second job type person. And she's like, my grandson Omari, is that his name? Omari is her next job. So, and she does not drink. So she's a good, wholesome, hardworking black woman. She said that she has read every open file in the station. So I think that helped her with, dealing with questioning this particular witness or whoever the guy was in the restaurant. Kim got a general discharge from the Army. And TJ keeps trying to figure out why Rebel is so forgiving or accepting of Kim. Why Rebel and Kim's relationship is what it is. TJ wants to know what's up. Kim had been volunteering at a soup kitchen with this woman named Yolanda, and that has something to do with why she disappeared. Kim disappeared. She was scared for her life. She had taken some wallets from the lost and found, she says. But she I was robbing from the lost and found. That's not like a stick up. That's just taking something that somebody lost, and I found it. She don't think it's a big deal. But she seemed like she's having a hard time, whereas both TJ and Rebel seem like, they have their issues, but they seem like they basically readjusted to society and like they're okay. We have an Army flashback with Kim and TJ and Rebel, and that's when Kim introduces TJ to Rebel, and he thinks Rebel is like a very, Rebel, what kind of name is that for your girl? And then Rebel shows up. Oh, is it too masculine for you? I found out that she was a stage actor. I haven't really found anything else out about her, but she definitely, is an actor. We can tell she ain't I can tell she ain't just come out of nowhere. Rebel shows up at a crime scene. She's gotten a tip. She's gotten a call. I think it's from the white woman medical examiner who's called and given her a tip. So she shows up. One of the people who shot her brother is there, and Rebel starts getting real upset. She gets real tense. She want to, jump on him and beat his ass. And we find out that it's a female African-American that's been killed at this crime scene. Her teeth have been taken out and her fingers have burned. So that's to reduce the ability to identify her. But the medical examiner does take a picture and give it to Rebel or send it to Rebel or whatever. But Rebel kind of gets in trouble for being, gets in trouble. Get off this crime scene, civilian, or whatever. But then when Kim sees the picture, she says it's Sherry, and Yolanda called her and she's coming after me next. And Yolanda, I guess that's why Kim had kind of dropped out, because she thinks that Yolanda is trying to kill her, like she killed Sherry, burning off fingertips and taking out teeth. It ain't, I'm not just gonna kill you, I'm gonna destroy any evidence of who you are. Or try to. Okay, so Mac gets into Rebel's car, and ask her why she's here. He gives her a flash drive, and he says he's been holding on to it, but since it's Malik's birthday, Rebel mentions that Jimmy was at April's place, and she mentions that to Mac. I don't know if Mac knew about Jimmy and April or not, but I think that from the rest of the episode he didn't know. And then Chi is like, girl, why didn't you tell me? This is Chi and Rebel talking. Girl, why didn't you tell me that you and TJ was having sex? Y'all still kicking it like that? And Rebel is like, you to judge me. And Chi is like, I'm supposed to judge you. I'm your best friend, and I'm supposed to let you know when you're doing some foolishness. So I kind of like that. I thought that was funny. And she asked if Rebel would get back with him if he wasn't with Tasha. And it seems like Rebel probably would. Yolanda scam former VA worker. So they're trying to figure out Yolanda's scam. She's some kind of former VA worker. She has some connection with vets. It's some scam going on, and it ends up leading them to a bank. Some of this stuff I didn't, I guess I'm not really a crime show type person. So a lot of this crime stuff, I be kind of, I guess I tune out, glaze over. I don't know where I be. But I be like, huh, what happened? When? Why? but we watching it because it's my girl Rebel. Her fashions, it wasn't like a lot going on with hair and everything that I noticed this week, although she did have on a cute little trench coat with some black booties and a black dress maybe, and then when she had on her black suit later on, and she had her hip twisted all the way up to the side, I'm like, girl, you know how to do that black girl, because that's like, little girl, you got your hand on your imagination. She had her hip twisted hard. But Rebel opens the, then there's another scene, Rebel's at her computer. She opens up the flash drive that Mac had given her when he was in the car with her for her brother's birthday. And it's like Mac and her brother doing spoken word or rapping. What's the difference between rap and spoken word? I don't know. But anyway, they, flowing. And they look like they're having a ball. She calls Rebel from work. She says that Sherry's account, that's the black woman that had been killed earlier, whose fingertips had been burnt off, and her teeth had been pulled out, that her account is still open, and that somebody made a withdrawal only 4 days ago. But the medical examiner says that Sherry's been dead for a week. So whoever made that thing probably knows that she's dead, we're thinking. So we're at the bank, I guess, where that withdrawal has been made. They're trying to figure out how to get access to the video so they can see who made the withdrawal. Jerry is a black loan officer there, and TJ and Rebel are there together. They're like partners working the case, and they're kind of like scoping out the bank, checking out, everybody in the situation, trying to figure out a weakness or a way for them to get in. And they both have their different theories about the employees and what's going on and what might be somebody's weakness. TJ does ask Rebel, do you ever think about us getting back together? We were good. And she like, we were good together when we were working against somebody else, but when it's just us working together, we got some issues. Jimmy and his brother Matt get together, and Jimmy does admit that he had been dealing with April, that they were just hooking up. It wasn't nothing but sex. And I guess that Jimmy is married, so he was cheating on his wife to be with April. And was it just sex? We don't really trust Jimmy. Mac don't know if he trusts Jimmy or not. And Jimmy is good for making some he be making some comments. I guess I kind of tune him out, but he's very offensive to black women. He be saying some very black woman offensive things. Let's say that he's certified black woman offensive. I'm offended, even though I don't be paying attention to his ass. So we see Rebel at the bank. She's sitting down with Miss Carmen Williams, who Rebel has figured out is having an affair with one of her co-workers. She has a picture of them kissing, and she like, girl, she sits down with the woman. The woman is trying to be professional. Rebel like, look, I need to see some video. Miss Williams is like, why would I show you the video? Rebel like, girl, we all done dirt, but I got your dirt on video. I'm sure you don't want your husband to see it. I'm sure you don't want your colleagues to see it. So I need to see that surveillance footage. Oh, I can't do that. She's like, yes, you can. Rebel is like, yes, you can. So she sees Kim on the footage. So Kim is the one who withdrew money from the dead woman's account 4 days ago after the woman was dead. So Kim was part of this whole scam with Yolanda. Kim helped Yolanda to find vets. She didn't know, Kim says, that they would get killed. She thought they were just stealing from them. And we've seen earlier that her sense of, right and wrong, she feel like it's cool to steal or take something that doesn't belong to her if it's in the lost and found, but she might not take something off of somebody's body. Be like, well, you lost it and I found it. And I don't know. I guess it depends on how long something is in the lost and found before it becomes officially lost forever. So, she felt like it was cool. Kim felt like it was cool to scam vets and get some money off of them, but she might not have felt that it was cool to kill people. Although I have come to believe that if you will lie, you will steal. If you will steal, you will kill. It's a slippery slope, Miss Kim. And now you caught up, stealing and lying. Now you caught up and you complicit in some more killing. Cut that out. Straighten up and fly right. Okay. So Kim had ATM cards for 5 or 6 accounts. And so they trying to figure out who's the shady teller in the bank, because somebody should have noticed somebody opening up all of these accounts for these vets. Somebody should have flagged something. So somebody is, somebody's the inside person at the bank. And it turns out that it's Jerry, the uppity Negro. That's what Rebel calls him. And he's the bank insider. He's the loan officer that we met early on in the scene. So Yolanda is Helen. At one point they had gone to the homeless shelter where, not homeless shelter, but it's like a van where they feed people. And that's where Kim had said she worked with Yolanda. And when they went there, this white woman is like, I don't know Yolanda. Yeah, Kim worked here for a minute, but she stole from us, so she had to get out. But it turns out that woman who says she didn't know Yolanda is Yolanda. Her real name is Helen, but she's AKA Yolanda. Okay. So she had been dishonorably discharged after 20 years, and she was bitter and she was angry, and that's why she was, stealing. Why was she dishonorably discharged? I mean, that's 20 years. That's like retirement time in the military, right? I thought if you worked 20 years, you could retire. To get dishonorably discharged after 20 years, what's up, girl? What happened? Was it them? Was it you? What's going on? Kim asked, how do you leave? There's a whole montage or whatever where we see Kim talking to Rebel. How do you leave the war zone behind? I'm really, you live and you seem like you normal, and I just can't seem to adjust. And Rebel had said earlier, different people handle coming back to civilization differently. And we get a flashback scene of Rebel and Kim in some people's house. It seems like they're in the Middle East or Syria, or I don't know where they are, but the people are not dark brown, but they're like brownish, slightly a tinge of brown, and they're inside. Rebel and Kim are inside of some people's house, and I guess the bad guys, I don't know who they are, outside. And Rebel is like, quiet that baby down. It's a baby is crying. Rah, rah, rah. Quiet that baby down. Quiet that baby down. And the bad people are outside, and they're like trying to survive. And so Kim gets the baby from the two women who are there, or one of the women, is two women there who are not military, and she's holding the baby. And then once everything is over, one of the women takes the baby back, and the baby is dead. But I never saw, maybe we did, but I didn't see Kim strangle the baby or punch the baby or break the baby's neck or anything like that. I don't know if she deliberately tried to kill it, or, I'm not sure exactly what happened, but Kim feels really, really bad about that. And maybe some other things that happen. It's kind of like when you be in the business of, hey, we're going to take you out of civilization, and then for, 2 or 3 years or 2 or 3 months, you'll kill people who are human beings, and then you're supposed to come back to society and just act like everything is normal and like you ain't been out there killing people. I don't know how people adjust to that. I mean, it's kind of like you in that situation and they tell you it's what you have to do, but it's so far removed from, like, if someone is personally coming at you in your house to kill you, you know them or you don't know them, but they trying to kill you and you kill them, it seemed like maybe you could justify it. But when you're in a war type situation, it's like we get this propaganda, oh, we're fighting for democracy. But, a lot of times that's bull. A lot of times we fighting for these big corporations to have access to cheaper oil, or for them to, it's like, it's not what it seems to be. And it seems like that would jack a lot of people up. So, Rebel says that she feels complicit in the situation too. And that's why we see that Rebel has been protective of Kim and just empathetic of Kim, because she feels like she was part of, what has jacked Kim up too. It hasn't jacked her up in the same way that we can see, but it's jacked her up probably in ways that we can't see. Don't many people want to be out here, killing babies and, killing people and stuff. Ew. So we see Rebel is ready to testify. I don't really know what she's testifying about, but she's in a cute black suit. It's when she have her hip twisted hard to the side. Mac confesses to her that ever since they took down that person, that tweaker in the park who stabbed Mac, that he's been having flashbacks, and that, maybe that's what happened with her brother, that he was having a flashback and he was scared for his life. I don't know if I believe him, because of course we know that, or he gave us the impression that he lied to the therapist. He can tell a lie and make up a story to make himself seem empathetic when he wants to. So I don't know whether to believe him or not. Von Bryant and Mac Von Bryant. So Mac, she's like, well, why did you say that my brother had a gun? You know that my brother had thrown that gun away. And he's like, I didn't say that. Von Bryant and his partner said that Malik was armed. I said what you said, that Malik had dropped the gun. Now, we don't know if that's true or not, but that's what Mac is saying. But it makes us give Von Bryant the side eye. And I got to go back through my notes or whatever. Von Bryant might be the one who shot Malik the most. I don't know. I don't remember. TJ breaks up with Tasha, or, it's like, I don't really want to move in with you. I don't think I should move in with you. I don't think you deserve somebody who wants to move in with you. I'm feeling kind of ambiguous. I'm not really sure, so I'm not going to do it. And she's like, you're still sleeping with her, aren't you? And they are still sleeping together. We see Rebel again doing poetry. I wasn't paying attention to the poetry this time, but it's like over flashbacks of her being in the army and other flashbacks. And she ends up saying, there's no fire next time. We should be on fire right now. I like that line. And then we see that TJ is at the poetry set. He says it's his first time hearing her do poetry. And he tells her that he has broken up with Tasha. All right, FabuLights, that's it. Be you, be fabulous, be fabulous. You have a wonderful day. Do you love Rebel? Are you enjoying watching it? Are you a detective-y type, crime scene type person? Put it in the comments. What did I miss? What did I get confused? Help a sister out. All right, y'all. Peace.